Attention, please.
And now, it's Cutter's Rockcast.
We're gonna interview Winston for Parkway Drive with pasta sauce on his face. Where is it? Where is it? Zoom in. Zoom in. Look for it.
See what's between my teeth. It's where I keep the spares.
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm excellent. Welcome back to the United States of America.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Did you bring the full set this time? You bring the full rig? You said, Winston, it was in a private conversation, not on a recorded one, but still.
It's coming.
Okay.
It is.
This
is the last tour I think we're doing here before we bust the whole shebang, before the show finally arrives in America. So
okay.
Yeah, this was I guess the last little stepping stone, which is awesome, and it's been a real good one, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's been
this is a cool tour, man.
Yeah,
you guys and Killswitch engaged together.
Yeah. Every single night's been rad, like really, really rad.
Oh God, I bet.
Yeah.
Reverend's been out for a long time at this point.
Over a year
now that you're back
Jesus.
around,
Yeah.
what's the song, man? What's the song?
What's the song?
The crowd is digging on, because we don't have a current Parkway Drive single right now. So it's not like there's a song on radio that people are, pray or whatever. But
the
on this
Void
tour,
is
what's the one?
The Void is
still.
It's like the biggest one we kind of have.
Yeah.
Full stop, which is wild. It's, I guess, the first single, and it's kind of still stomping along. But it's pretty nice, like everything we play off that album. And this goes worldwide. Like, we've played everything other than I Hope You Rot and something else.
I do really like I Hope You Rot, though.
Yeah, I want to.
I really like the whole record, though.
We've
let's just be honest.
too, and every song's worked exactly how we've wanted. So it's really nice.
That's something.
We brought shadowboxing into the set the last couple of tours, so we've been playing that on this tour, which is nice because it's a really different dynamic, and that's been going wild. The whole tour's just been sick. Like, that's the thing. It's really cool to just be able to go night after night. The crowds are mental, and just be able to play a set and every single song just work and everyone have a good vibe. That's the thing. It's, I don't know. We're spoiled. Crowds have been spoiling us.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. It's put us in this this interesting mindset where it's, I don't know. It's very, I forget what it's like to have a bad show. And it doesn't mean you like take it for granted.
Right.
It's just
somebody has a set somewhere. Somebody has a video of a set somewhere of playing in a small club of Parkway Drive playing a shitty show.
Probably, yeah.
You have to go back and watch that, get inspired again.
100%. There you go.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and it's the good thing is it doesn't, like, standing on stage and the show being wild is not something that you ever just like. It's just a wild gig, or whatever. You still step on stage and go, "Oh my God, here it comes, yes." So,
feel the build up.
That's it.
Dude,
That's it.
I'm getting chills thinking about it because that's a true thing. I've talked a lot about this, especially on my show, The Cutting Edge Countdown. These bands that are just on a different level, and this is nothing against any other band, right? But there are certain bands that are just you can feel the bubble rise. You know what I mean? And it's been like that for Parkway Drive for a couple of years, it feels like. Because it's like every time I've seen you guys live, and there's been quite a few shows, but every time I see you guys live, it's just like, there's a little bit more people.
Yeah.
There's a more excitement.
Yeah.
There's more requests on the radio. There's just that bubble just keeps.
It's nice. It's really nice. Again, spoiled. That's the thing. It's like we always. The thing when I say like a bad show, it's not the kind of a bad show for me is, and for us is, it's never something where we give it less than 110%.
Right.
It's just really crazy when that feeling of the bubble rising now. It seems like there's more people who know who we are than who don't know who we are.
Yeah.
And that makes for a really insane atmosphere. And the atmosphere spreads really, really quickly. That's the thing. It's that's one of the things I've just noticed at gigs is like even if there's someone who is not into it or doesn't know who we are, it's kind of infectious. It spreads to them within like 2 songs kind of thing, and then the whole show just kind of blows up. So that whole feeling of it, that momentum, that momentum of that bubble is it's that we've been waiting for that to burst for our entire existence, to be honest. And it's just crazy that it keeps getting the rate that it is rising at this point in time.
Right.
Is far more than anything we've felt in the past, and it's really, really cool.
Well, it seems like Parkway over the years, and it's been a decade now, but It feels like Parkway over the years. Like every record, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. With Reverence, it has sort of exploded a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ire, put that. I didn't want to rhyme fire and ire, but I guess I'm going to have to.
Zing. Yeah.
But it sort of did feel like it stoked that fire a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it definitely did. And I think if that one was kind of like the crack in the ice kind of thing, this is the full like smashing of it. Because it's just like I'd say that the US has been like I'm going to say the hardest market to crack in the sense of it's taken the most amount of time.
Well, you guys see, I mean, you guys have always seemed to have that real rabid hardcore fan base build a little bit quicker, even in Europe. Obviously, your home country, Australia, and whatever.
It's just I think it's just different because there's so many more bands, and the culture of music over here is so vast compared to everywhere else.
Right.
It takes a while to get any, like, I don't know, to feel that bubble rise. But at this point in time, it seems off the last two records, it's all kind of come up together, and it's just the US is kind of a couple of touring cycles behind Europe, but it's now at the point where we can feel the comparison of like, oh, this just feels like it did in Europe like 2 years ago. And that was like we've seen what happens after that, and we can remember the feeling of like, whoa, if that's about to happen, like we get to give people the show that these songs were designed in our mind for, and the visuals that go along with it, the feeling that goes along with it 100%, that then I think that last piece of translation of what we really want to create with this band will kind of like link the chain, and the gears will start going like at an even faster rate, which will be cool.
How much weight do you put on the live show versus the songs in the record, or for you is it all sort of a cohesive unit where, okay, these are the songs we're doing for this record, this is what we wrote, now we have to create the show around it?
No, it's a bit of both, to be honest.
Okay.
It's interesting because like we definitely create the sonics and the themes for the record as their own piece of art, and they're definitely like, the record is a record. It's not like a bunch of singles and then a couple of filler or whatever, and you just throw it down and you put a title on it and go, here's some music. Like, we definitely try and create something that's representative of us at that point in time in a thematic and sonic palette. But at that same point in time, we also have in mind where they are going to go in performance like aspects. And for us, being on stage is just, it's another, I'm not going to say like they're not two separate things of artistic interpretation, because they're definitely linked, but at the same point in time, it's like, it's in your head. Like, how do you want to translate this mood and this vibe onto the stage, because you know that's where you are also going to be presenting it. So the two tie together in this really interesting way where they're kind of separate, but they're the same thing, same point in time. So a lot of thought goes into like walking that line,
right,
of not 100% just going for something that's going to be awesome live, but doesn't work on a record, or something that just works on a record and will not accomplish anything in the live environment. Because we started doing this as a live band. Like, we never started this band to write records. We just wanted to create that, like, a live feeling. And now the live feeling that we want to create just has so many more avenues to go down, because we have the means in the area to do it, that we like exploring those things. And then that fed back into what we want to create musically. Like, there's very specific sonic characteristics on the last few albums, which were like, we want to put these in because it's something we haven't done before, and we know it will heighten what we're trying to create on a stage. So
thank you for answering my next question.
All right, what's the question? Yeah.
No, and that's what it was. It was just about having that ability on stage more so than maybe you did at the beginning of your career. Does that allow those sort of different soundscapes and ideas to enter the writing process, which you answered?
Yeah, it definitely does. And it's interesting because it's been a very like strange evolution because we've always had varied taste in music as well, and it's always been something that's been distilled down to what we always thought like Parkway was allowed to do, in the sense of you do something too weird and it's going to be a track which you put out on an album which will not work when you just want to have 20 minutes worth of mosh bangers and that's it.
Right.
But the bigger the band gets, the more people come to the gig, and the more like you want to vary the flow so there's the energy at the right points and it's not just like full throttle the whole time. You want there to be different points that hit and slow and all of those.
Well, yeah, I imagine
things,
as you're not playing 20-minute opening sets anymore,
Yeah.
you're playing an hour, you're playing
that's
75 minutes. You know?
Yeah, and at the same point as well, you realise that there's different ways of creating new music which you'd always wanted to do, which hadn't necessarily worked at that point in time. So you step into that brave new world and create something, and you're like, oh, that still sounds like us, but it also doesn't sound like us. And then you put it out there, and then you put it on the stage as well, and you see how that interacts with people and what it gives. And and I think it's the knowledge of being an artistic creator on just a sonic palette when it comes to like an album, and also being an artistic creator when it comes to being on the stage, because it's not just adrenaline fueled anymore. Like me, I'm not just a hyperactive teen anymore. Like I'm turning 37 this year. That's the thing. And the nuances that I want to come through our music and that we want to put on stage cover so much more of the spectrum than just that pure like adrenaline, like energy drink, which it used to be. Like, and it's really cool to be able to do that. Like, and to be able to know like inside you that is a really true representation of who you are as a person, and it shows the growth that we've gone through as people and as a band.
A little break down the fourth wall. See, kids, that's how you ask the question about why you changed your sound without asking the question, why did you change your sound?
There you go. Good one. I hope the answer was okay.
There was a conversation arose, and I think it was on Luna's Facebook page, to be honest with you. It was, right?
Starting
it is always
controversy?
on your Facebook page.
Because it seems like I'm the only one in my age group that's like, hell yeah, new stuff.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, no, I like their old stuff. And I'm always just like, woo, I want to go see Parkway Drive.
Yeah.
I don't like them now. And it's like, can I just live, please?
Can we just enjoy?
Yeah.
Like stuff?
Yeah.
I get it.
I still don't understand it. That seems so much more prevalent in metal than it does in really in every other genre.
You know why? I think there's a deeper reason with all of that stuff. When you look at, this is a broad judgment, but this is a broad judgment made from many years of observation and my personal experience. When you look at the type of music that, metal or a lot of heavy music is created, and the time period in people's lives when it is created, it's generally a young person's interest or something that latches onto a younger generation, which is formative years of emotions and of thought processes and everything like that, and it's highly stimulating and it's wonderfully cathartic. And it came to me like in my teenage years and all through my 20s, I was just like, this is the one thing in my life, like it makes 100% sense. And so many records meant so much to me, not only because of the sound that it was giving, but also the relationship between what it was giving to me and what I was going through at that point in time. So when you talk about albums that have defined your life, you look at that period of time in your life, and the soundtrack for you is never going to leave your head. Ever. For the rest of your life, that'll be the thing. And when a band comes along after 15 years of doing it and is giving you something else, even if they made that same thing again, it's not going to come along at that same point in time in your life. And you can make the same record twice, 15 years over, and it can be note for note absolutely perfect, and it still will not stack up to that standard, simply because nostalgia and impact and like what that meant for you then will be completely different. It's removed from the context, which is fine. That's the thing. But that's why I have no problem with someone saying, I like the old stuff and I don't like the new stuff. I'm like, cool. It's music taste. That's the thing. Like, I don't listen to the same thing I did back then, but it doesn't mean the records that I did listen to back then now mean nothing to me.
Right. That's the smartest answer probably to that type of question.
Cool.
I think I've heard.
Yeah.
What's so it's been a year since Reverence.
Yeah.
On this tour with Killswitch for a little bit longer, playing some festivals.
Yeah.
Then what?
Oh, yeah. We go home for like 4 weeks and then we go to Europe.
Okay.
And headline a bunch of festivals.
All the festivals in Europe, all the June Fest or whatever.
Yeah.
June,
So
early
that's going to
July,
be
yeah.
mad. Like, it's literally the biggest shows we've done. And it's reached the point where we get to like straight up headline some of the biggest festivals on the planet.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Dude, still
Yeah.
that, what was it, Rock AM
Rock and
download?
Ring,
What was
yeah.
it? Yeah, Rock in the Ring?
Rock and Ring last year and Rock and Park was, and that was like 1-2 slots under.
Yeah.
And this year we get to do, like, I think Hurricane and Southside were co-headlining, and that's like 100.
The whole set is on YouTube, and if you have
go
not
watch
seen
it.
it
Yeah.
is fucking incredible. We have pulled that up at least a handful of times and watched it. I know I have, even without her around. So like, yeah, it's pretty amazing, dude. It's always a pleasure catching up with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much again.
Is there new music down the road? I do have to ask that question, otherwise
Always,
I'm not doing my job.
Not this soon. We've got.
Next year, maybe.
We'll see. It's actually probably going to be a little while, to be honest.
Okay.
We have a bunch of other creative, like Parkway projects, which we're working on. put it
Okay.
that way. So we're never like idle in the sense of like creating something.
Yeah.
The music side of things, we're definitely going to take our time, probably even more than anything we've done before, simply because like we can. No, and it's like it's nice to be able to actually do that because
Let it breathe a little bit. And,
like it's been pedal to the metal like for so long, and this
Right.
is the first time where we know like that there is music that we want to create. We know the tank isn't dry, but we really want to put out something that leaves its mark in a way unlike anything we've done before. Like, I'd really love to create a piece of music which stretches us so far that at this point in time I can't quite imagine what that's going to be. And to be able to flesh out an idea like that, and it might never happen, but at that same point in time, like, to be able to give that space to coalesce and come together, you need time rather than just going back to the same cogs that have always been turning and crank out something that's completely a replica of safety.
Excellent. Well, dude, again, good luck with everything. It's great to see you. Luna, next time you're taking a microphone.
Yeah.
Cutter's Rockcast.
Don't forget to tune in.
Exactly.